An e-commerce business is just that, a business. When you sell on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Google Play and Apple, you do not have an e-commerce business, far from it. When most authors, used to the streamlined process of Amazon and the other retailers, decide to venture into the realm of e-commerce, they carry a set of wrongful expectations. They're accustomed to the simplicity of uploading their books and receiving royalties. There's no need to worry about the nitty-gritty details of business operations. When they decide to open their own e-commerce store, they make the mistake of thinking it is a case of selling wide. Nothing could be further from the truth. Why is that, you might ask? It's simple. An e-commerce business is in fact an actual business, and businesses, no matter how good they are, take time to get going. Even the best businesses in the world didn't start raking in cash overnight. With a brick-and-mortar store, you wouldn't set up on a desert island and declare you will make money before moving to a town. No? Well, this is the attitude many authors have to starting an e-commerce business. Now, you might have heard stories of authors starting an e-commerce store and immediately making a fortune. It's easy to look at these stories and think, well, if they can do it, so can I. But here's the thing, these success stories come from authors who have leveraged their existing audiences on Amazon to kickstart their e-commerce stores. But what happens when that initial burst of sales from a loyal following starts to dwindle? These authors find themselves facing a new challenge, reaching out to cold audiences. And reaching out to cold audiences means starting to treat their e-commerce venture as what it truly is, a business. Businesses require time, effort, and yes, even investment. It's not as simple as uploading books and watching the royalties roll in. There are countless tasks that come with running a business. Indeed, the road to e-commerce success is not as instant as many authors assume. And authors do not realize exactly what the retailers do behind the scenes that now they too will need to do. It's a path filled with challenges, but it's also one filled with potential for great reward for those willing to put in the time and effort. Authors are used to selling on Amazon, a platform that takes away the need for authors to worry about the nitty-gritty details of business operations. Amazon takes care of the business side of things. It's a symbiotic relationship where authors provide the content and do the marketing, and Amazon runs the business. Authors become accustomed to this streamlined process, and when it comes to starting their e-commerce business, they often expect the same level of simplicity. They anticipate an immediate flow of income mirroring their experience with Amazon. However, this expectation is often far from reality. E-commerce is a different ballgame altogether, one that requires a different set of skills and a far higher level of involvement. It's a leap from selling on the retailers to the world of e-commerce. It's a shift to becoming an entrepreneur, a business owner. And this transition can be quite overwhelming for many. When authors make the leap to selling from their e-commerce store, they often expect to make money instantly. Running your own online store is often amplified by experiences on retailers like Amazon, where authors can upload their books for free and collect royalties. This simplicity can create the wrong picture of what it's like to run an e-commerce business. But as with most things in life, the reality is often a bit different. It's a common misconception that an e-commerce business should start generating profits instantly. This expectation stems from the fact that, as authors selling on the retailers, we do not have anything to do with the e-commerce side of things. When you're running your own e-commerce store, you are the one responsible for everything. This requires a significant amount of time and effort. You'll need to learn about many aspects of running a business. You'll need to invest in your business, even if that investment is as little as $50 a month for a storefront. and most importantly, you'll need patience. Running an e-commerce business is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And like any good marathon runner will tell you, the key to success is pacing yourself and staying the course, no matter how tough it gets. So, if you're an author considering the jump to e-commerce, keep in mind that the road to success is rarely as smooth as we'd like it to be. But with determination, patience, and a healthy dose of reality, you can navigate the challenges and build a successful e-commerce business. The truth is, even the best businesses didn't make instant cash immediately. You've heard stories of authors making a fortune instantly after starting their e-commerce stores. But have you noticed that these high figures suddenly drop or even disappear? This is where the concept of hot and cold audiences comes into play. Hot audiences are those who already know you, love your work, and have already purchased your books. They've read your books on Amazon, they've engaged with your content. These are the people who are ready to buy from your e-commerce store the moment it launches. But here's the thing, all hot audiences are finite. They've bought your books, they've checked out your store, and now they're waiting for your next book. But in the meantime, what happens to your sales? This is the point where many authors stumble because they now have to engage with cold audiences. Cold audiences are those who don't know you yet. They haven't read your books, they haven't engaged with your content. Reaching out to cold audiences requires a different strategy. It requires marketing, advertising, and most importantly, patience. It's about building a relationship, earning trust, and gradually converting these cold audiences into hot ones. Cold audiences are the basis of all e-commerce businesses. So when authors transition from Amazon to their own e-commerce store, they initially make money from their hot audiences. But when those run out, they need to start engaging with cold audiences. This is where the real challenge begins, and this is also where the real growth happens. It's a process, a journey. It's not always easy, but it's absolutely worth it. Remember, every hot audience was once a cold one. When the hot audiences run out, authors have to start treating it as an e-commerce business, a real business. An e-commerce business is a real business, and like any business, it requires time, effort, and a bit of investment. Let's take a moment to reflect upon what we've discussed so far. Starting an e-commerce business, especially when authors are used to the convenience of selling on retailers like Amazon, can be a challenging shift. The expectation of immediate success can be a stumbling block as the reality of running an e-commerce business sets in. Remember, the best businesses in the world didn't make instant cash immediately. They took time to build, to grow, and to establish their presence. They invested in their brand, their product, and their audience. It's a process, not a one-time event. When you start your e-commerce store, it's easy to ride the wave of your hot audiences, the customers who have already bought your books on Amazon. But what happens when that wave subsides? When the hot audiences run out, you're left with the cold audiences, the new customers who don't know you yet. And reaching these audiences requires a different approach, a different set of skills, and yes, a different mindset. That's when the real work begins. That's when you need to start treating your e-commerce store as a full-fledged business. It's about setting realistic expectations, investing in your business, and having the patience to see it through. Remember, an e-commerce business requires effort, patience, and a willingness to learn and adapt. Having your own e-commerce store is absolutely not an extension of selling wide. Wide is selling on retailers other than Amazon, but that is not e-commerce. Having your own e-commerce store is about running a business, your business.